All right. And we'll get to it now since we've talked about as much other wrestling as we can besides this. And I will surprise you with a statement I'm about to make about the AEW television effort that aired on March 24th. Do you know who was in what I consider to be the best match on the program?
Now I'm trying to remember. It's been a few days. What were the matches? Who was in the best match that you thought? I don't even remember who wrestled until we start doing the review. I can't remember. Kenny Omega.
You don't take notes like I do?
No, I do it off the top of my head. Kenny Omega.
You are correct, sir. Kenny Olivier, Twinkle Toes McFingerbang. Of course, it wasn't his fault. But of the matches on this program, his was the best one of them.
Interesting.
They started out with the World Title Eliminator, which is, I don't understand how it's an eliminator when if you beat the guy, you get a title match. Right? It's not like an elimination tournament or whatever. Anyway, they like their verbiage.
What you're not understanding is that Tony Khan can't book.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not understanding that. But once you got past the ludicrous, ridiculous entrance, the over-the-top introduction by ring announcer George Hamilton Roberts, the stupid dancing broom girls dressed up like Olivia Newton-John in a 40-year-old workout video, etc.
That blonde is cute.
Oh, for heaven's sake. What, Olivier?
No, the dancing broom girl. They never have they ever explained on TV why they have brooms?
No, because the minute nerd audience that watches this program obviously knows he was the cleaner in Japan.
But that's my question. I knew that based on the nerd audience, but has that ever been explained to anyone watching the show? I couldn't remember.
I would be more than happy to be open for correction, but I ain't heard it. And it may be in passing, if excrement would say, I was the cleaner in Japan. It's stupid. It's stupid and comedic and low rent. And he thinks it's getting him heel heat with their audience. When in actuality, it's another of the many things that prevents anybody else. I thought in 2009 that Ring of Honor had great talent on the roster, but what they did was such a private club that was impossible for just a casual observer to understand what was going on. They take it here to a whole new level in AEW is all I'm going to say. But anyway, once they actually started the match, the first thing I wrote, they tried to wrestle. I think that Matt Sydal has good influence on the mute Marx brother because this was the closest thing to a logical, sensible wrestling match that I've seen him have. And he was fairly serious about it. I mean, he still makes funny faces, but he's not doing it on purpose. That's just his fucking face. But Olivier's personality, the facials, the body language, etc., that he's to make him a heel naturally, and now he's exaggerating them more, as you should, to be a heel. But he still doesn't either wrestle as a heel or a babyface to me. He just does the same moves either way, but maybe with a different expression on his face. But Sydal is a flipper, but he's more polished and more experienced than your average AEW roster member. He takes those great bumps when he, as we've seen when he slipped on his debut coming in trying to do something off the top rope. He can crash and burn spectacularly, but he was on here, took a great bump off of Twinkle Toes' clothesline, made a nice comeback at that Hurricane Run off the top rope, a nice brain buster. He had several nice false finishes on Harpo. There was that one point where Harpo countered the Hurricane Run off the top he was going for, and Sydal came down on the top rope ass first and flipped over and ring. That was a nice bump off of that. Sydal is the first person I've seen that actually sells the tulip suplex or snapdragon suplex or whatever is suplex, like it actually is vicious and hurts. Everybody else just rolls through and pops up. Sydal hit a cool roll-up. I was seeing a bunch of nice stuff from Matt Sydal that I've not seen in this match. He hit some nice kicks and another big false finish. This was one of his better efforts. But then finally, Sydal tries the Meteora, where I don't know how they do this without killing them. The guy that's giving the move killing himself. But the Meteora, where they jump off the top or whatever and put both knees in the guy's chest and ride him down. Now, I can see where the guy taking it can get out from under it, but that's punishing on your knees. Anyway, but Olivier catches him and gives him a buckle bomb and then a power bomb. Boom, and it was fucking great, and then didn't cover him. And then did one of those Canterbury knees where he does the little horse canter and, gets the happy feet, gets a 2 count. And then Sydal comes out with a reverse Hurricane Rana and goes to the top, but Olivier trips him, and then everything comes to a halt while Olivier emotes and hits more of those stupid little fucking knees that look like shit. And then went for the one-winged fairy, but Sydal countered it into a roll-up, and at that point I said, they've jumped the shark on this now. They put together a tremendous sequence. The Meteora, Olivier catches him, buckle bomb into the power bomb, cover the guy 1, 2, 3. You're going to win anyway. But instead, they go back and they do the more, and then they come to a halt, and then they do some more. And then Olivier hits another knee and then hits another one, the one-winged fairy. If he'd have beat him with the power bomb, it would have been perfect. But they've always got to overstay their welcome and get too busy. But however, having said that, this was Twinkle Toes' best match I've ever seen, because
come on,
what
it was really good, but better than the Okada matches.
Well, because every time that Olivier has too much time, he does his goofy shit. Of course, the Okada matches, Okada's good, but they went way too fucking long and way too fucking far and overstayed their welcome way too past the expiration date with the constant never ending a match false finishes. And also, when you give him enough time, he's always going to do those butt plug faces. He's always going to do something that doesn't make any sense. It was contained here. It wasn't too short. It was just a little bit too long. But grading on their normal curve, they didn't do too much. Nobody was silly except his entrance. And Sydal was remarkable. So I can't say I ever enjoy Olivier because he still wrestled a sex doll in front of a crowd. So he can always, to me, burn in eternal damnation. But if you got to watch the fucking guy, this is the least I've ever disliked it.
If he ever apologized for wrestling the doll and admitted it was a mistake and he was young, would you forgive him?
Yes. Let's have somebody come over and apologize to me for hurting one of my dogs. The guy that lives 2 doors away from me is the son of the guy that lived there in 1967 that had a dog that killed one of my dogs, and the Cornette family and his family have not spoken in 56 years.
Oh, wow.
And he's 500 feet away from me. You think I'm going to forgive Twinkle Toes for fucking shitting on the business in front of people? Fuck him. Anyway, what'd you think about the rest of the match?
I'm surprised that you liked it because I thought you and I were going to have a fight here because I liked it. I hate the entrance.
Yeah.
Like I said, the blonde dancing girl, very pretty. However,
if you held a gun to me, I couldn't tell you what any of them looked like or what color any of them's hair was. I just see the brooms and tune out.
My point is, everything from Justin Roberts' ridiculous intro, which, again, it happens, but that's another thing. It's never been explained why it's happening. To the dancing broom girls in, what would you call it, 80s workout gear? I don't even know what to call it, fluorescent workout gear. None of this makes any sense. None of it's ever explained. And to me, it's stupid. I hate the entrance, but I thought it was a really good match. I really, really liked it.
You wonder when you watch the entrance, where's the dancing bear? And have a seal come out and sit up on fucking stool bouncing a beach ball on its nose.
You're giving them ideas. I hope you realize you're giving.
Hey,
SeaWorld is not that far away.
It's a service I provide for, the underprivileged people who are short on ideas, who don't have enough ideas to eat. I donate some ideas.